What if I told you that Spider-Man: Brand New Day isn't just another superhero movie, but the film that will completely redefine Peter Parker's place in the MCU, contain clues to a storyline so massive it connects us to Avengers Doomsday and beyond? Today, I'm breaking down everything we know about Brand New Day, from the revolutionary new suit design that changes Spider-Man forever, to the leaked set photos hinting Mr. Negative, and the insane cast that includes Hulk, Punisher, and Black Cat. But more importantly, we're going to uncover how this movie sets up the most dangerous timeline in MCU history. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll understand why Brand New Day might be the most important Spider-Man movie ever made. And trust me, this isn't just another upgrade. Looking at these images, one thing becomes crystal clear. Peter has gone full classic. This is the most traditional Spider-Man suit we've seen from Tom Holland's version. If you compare this to his previous high-tech suit, there is so much difference. All the modern elements, the sleek digital aesthetics, the contemporary design are gone. This new suit feels timeless, like it could have existed in any era of Spider-Man. Now, it's definitely similar to that homemade suit we saw at the end of No Way Home, but with some crucial upgrades. The blue is much darker, more mature, it has real weight to it. And those raised webs? That's a complete game changer from the flat webbing we saw before. Here's what's fascinating: when Tom Holland Peter met Tobey and Andrew in No Way Home, he clearly took notes and copied elements from both their suits and created something new. You can see Tobey's raised webbing influence and Andrew's suit proportions all mixed together into this design. And that spider emblem, it's bigger and more prominent, just like the classic designs. It's bold, it's confident, it demands attention, exactly how the original Spider-Man logo was meant to be. And the back of Tom's spider emblem also resemble Andrew Garfield back spider emblem. What we're seeing is Peter taking the best of every Spider-Man who came before him and creating something that honors that legacy. This isn't Tom trying to reinvent Spider-Man, it's him finally becoming the classic Spider-Man we've always known, just in his own way. And also, the new suit is very much similar to the suit from the Brand New Day comic. The Brand New Day comics were all about getting back to Spider-Man's roots, stripping away the complications, and returning to what made the character iconic in the first place. That's exactly what this suit represents: pure classic Spider-Man that everyone loves. Now, here's something that's been bugging me. Why is a Spider-Man movie filming in Glasgow, Scotland, when Spider-Man's story is intrinsically tied to New York? The official reason is Glasgow doubles for New York, but I think there's something happening here. Set videos caught some interesting action being filmed on the streets of Glasgow, but here's my theory. What if they're not just using Scotland as a cheap New York substitute? What if there's actually a major action sequence that takes place internationally? It's not just cost-effective filming, it's a globe-spanning conspiracy that forces Peter to become an international hero. This is where things get absolutely insane. The leaked set images behind the scenes shots are giving us clues that the main protagonist is Mr. Negative, but is he the main protagonist of this movie? I don't think so. Look at this image. See that symbol on the tank? That is Mr. Negative's symbol, and it confirms what comic fans have been theorizing for months. But here's the connection nobody's talking about. That tank? It's not just a Mr. Negative symbol, it's DODC technology. We still don't know much about the Department of Damage Control, and that's exactly what makes them dangerous. I think Peter Parker is also going up against them. Why? Because it's in his nature. Back in Homecoming, Peter risked everything to stop Vulture from selling dangerous weapons, even when Tony Stark told him to back off. He did it anyway. That's who he is. The guy who steps in when something's wrong, even if it means standing alone. This is just my theory, so it might not be entirely true, so please don't take this theory seriously. I believe, based on everything I've analyzed, I believe the real villain of this story isn't Mr. Negative or Scorpion. It's the Department of Damage Control itself. Or more specifically, someone who might be manipulating damage control from the shadows, which I will reveal further in this video. Think about it. The damage control has been quietly sitting in the background of Peter's MCU journey from the very start. They cleaned up after the Avengers, they seized alien tech after the Battle of New York, they had access to Stark tech after Homecoming. They've been building a database of enhanced individuals for years, and now they're taking it further. What if these damage control and Mr. Negative are working together, and through Mr. Negative, they are experimenting dimensional energy that might be weakening the realities? Mr. Negative's powers in the comics are tied to dark energy, and in the MCU, that could easily be reimagined as an unstable, dimension-linked energy source that can destabilize the barriers between universes. And they might not even realize the scale of the threat they're creating. But let's talk about what this movie is really about. Peter Parker's complete rebuild of his life. This is going to be heartbreaking. After No Way Home, Peter Parker doesn't just lose his secret identity. MJ doesn't remember him. Ned doesn't remember him. Happy doesn't remember him. He's not just alone, he's completely erased from the lives of everyone he's ever loved. So how does he survive? How does he pay rent? How does he go to college? The answer is he doesn't. Not easily. I think Peter joined college and lived living in a tiny apartment, struggling just to exist like Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. Imagine how epic it would be to see Peter working at the Daily Bugle again in Brand New Day. It would brought back everything we loved. Peter struggling as a photographer, Jameson yelling about Spider-Man being a menace, all while Peter's secretly the guy in the classic red and blue suit. Timeline-wise, Brand New Day is set before Avengers Doomsday, which means we're looking at roughly 2 to 3 years after No Way Home. Peter had time to struggle to build a new life, but he hasn't healed from the trauma of losing and everything. Now let's talk about the insane cast they've assembled, because each character choice tells us exactly what kind of story they're planning. Bruce Banner will team up with Peter Parker in the new Spider-Man, but why Hulk? Why now? And here's where my theory gets absolutely insane. Bruce Banner represents what Peter could become: a brilliant scientist who lost control and hurt people he loved. Banner's experience with isolation, with being seen as a monster, makes him the perfect mentor for Peter's current situation. But I think Mr. Negative is going to use his corruption powers on Bruce Banner. Imagine this: Banner is helping Peter investigate the DODC experiments, and Mr. Negative touches Banner with his dark energy. Mr. Negative's corruption ability doesn't just affect regular people, it can invert someone's moral compass completely. A corrupted Hulk wouldn't just be angry, he'd be evil, pure destructive rage with no moral restraints. Picture this scene: Spider-Man has to fight a corrupted Hulk tearing through the city. Peter has to find a way to save his mentor while protecting innocent people from a monster that's essentially unstoppable. This creates the perfect emotional conflict. Peter finally finds someone who understands his isolation, only to have that relationship weaponized against him. In the comics, Spider-Man and Punisher have always represented two fundamentally different philosophies of justice. Spider-Man believes in redemption, that people can change, that everyone deserves a second chance, where Punisher, shaped by the brutal murder of his family, believes some people are beyond saving. Punisher operates on certainty; he eliminates the threat so they can never hurt anyone again. Both have seen too much loss, but Peter chose to preserve life while Frank chose to end it. In movie, Frank might help Peter to take down Department of Damage Control. As for Sadie Sink, she could be playing either Gwen Stacy or Black Cat. Both possibilities create incredible dramatic potential for Peter's story. If Gwen Stacy. In the comics, Gwen was Peter's first true love before Mary Jane, studying biochemistry and representing pure, innocent love. She tragically died during a battle with Green Goblin. Now here's what makes this compelling: Gwen has never existed in Tom Holland's MCU movies. For this Peter meeting, Gwen would be completely new. This creates perfect dramatic irony. Peter, carrying trauma from losing MJ, meets someone new who could love him. If she's Black Cat, Felicia Hardy offers something completely different. In the comics, Black Cat loves Spider-Man but has zero interest in Peter Parker. She's attracted to the danger and mystery of the masked hero, not the man underneath. But Peter desperately needs someone to love Peter Parker, not just the mask. Either way, Sadie Sink represents Peter's struggle with connection after No Way Home. Whether she's the innocent love that reminds him what he's lost, or the tempting escape that lets him forget his human side, her character will force Peter to confront what kind of relationships he can have when Peter Parker barely exists. And Michael Mando returning as Scorpion is the perfect choice for a smaller-scale, personal villain. Scorpion wants revenge on Spider-Man, but he doesn't know Peter Parker doesn't exist anymore. This creates this perfect dramatic irony. Plus, Scorpion's connection to the Vulture ties back to the street-level, working-class themes that made Homecoming so great. It's not just Peter's story, it's the opening act of the entire multiverse crisis. Think about the timeline. Brand New Day seems to set before a Doomsday. That might not be a coincidence. Again, this is just a theory, so please don't take it seriously. And this is where my theory gets insane. Remember when I said someone might be manipulating damage control? My theory is that what if this might be none other than Dr. Doom, the master manipulator, and he might be using damage control and Mr. Negative to weaken the walls between realities of the main MCU timeline. This Earth's already been through hell. Every one of those events has left scars in reality. In the current MCU timeline, multiversal incursions are a growing something we saw in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Incursions happen when universes collide, usually because of violations to the natural order like dreamwalking, time travel, interdimensional travel, and reckless use of reality. Altering magic. Doctor Strange spell in No Way Home, Wanda pursuit of her children across universes, Thanos snap and blip. Even the events in Loki with He Who Remains, all of it has made incursions worse. The death of He Who Remains unleashed a free multiverse with no TVA to stop these collisions. And in the shadows, Doom's been watching, manipulating, waiting. What if Dr. Doom already knew about our timeline, being the weakest than all the other realities? In Secret Wars 2015 comic, Dr. Doom created Battleworld by merging fragments of collapsing universes. Earth is structurally damaged from years of multiverse multiversal trauma. That instability makes it the perfect anchor point to pull fragments of other realities into one place, to fuse realities together. This plays directly into Doom's comic accurate role as the invisible manipulator, the man who seeds events years in advance, letting others break the door down so he can walk right in. He wants to remake the multiverse battle world, a twisted reality where he rules as God Emperor. And our MCU timeline Earth might be his perfect doorway in, and this is where Spider-Man might be important for Doctor Doom's perfect plan. When Doctor Strange's spell erased Peter Parker's existence in No Way Home, it did more than wipe everyone's memories. It effectively erased Peter from the multiverse's awareness. No records, no identity, no trace in the timelines. To every force in the multiverse, Peter Parker is a ghost, and that's why he could become Doctor Doom's greatest blind spot. Think about it. Doom's entire plan hinges on control. Every move calculated, every piece on the chessboard visible. But Peter? He's not even on the board. Doom can't plan for something he doesn't know exists. By the time Avengers Doomsday arrives, every hero will be focused on Doom's overwhelming power. But Peter Parker? He'll be the one person Doom doesn't account for, the invisible glitch in a perfect plan. And when Doom finally builds Battleworld from the wreckage of collapsing realities, it might just be this forgotten Spider-Man who finds the one thread that unravels everything. Because Doom's greatest weakness is the hero he never knew existed. Spider-Man Brand New Day isn't just the next chapter in Peter Parker's story, it's potentially the most important solo MCU movie since the first Iron Man. It has to show us a Peter Parker who's lost everything, but still chooses to be a hero. It's going to show us a hero who sees the coming apocalypse and prepares to face it alone because that's what Spider-Man does. He bears the responsibility, even when no one remembers his name. Brand New Day hits theaters July 31st, 2026. It's going to be worth the wait. What do you think? Do my theories hold up? What did I miss? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the MCU's biggest mysteries.